We are your back-to-school authority at 642. Thousands of students are starting their first day of class this morning in the Waterbury School District.
Yeah, and a new year brings new changes. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Olivia Schuler joins us now live from Waterbury Career Academy to tell us about one of those changes. Good morning, Olivia.
Nicole, good morning. Well, safety is really on the forefront. The superintendent of Waterbury Schools says that both teachers and staff have been made aware of new protocols, and it's all in a renewed effort to keep everyone inside of that building nice and safe. Now, the superintendent of schools, Verna Ruffin, says the district is going to continue practicing drills like sheltering in place and lockdowns. Some schools have also got new eyes and ears. A number of cameras are now being implemented across different schools. On top of those safety measures, the district is now using a new alert system to communicate with first responders.
We have an additional resource called Mutual Link, which provides an alert system and immediate response for our first responders. We have various monitors, both with the police department as well as within Waterbury Public Schools, that gives us some real-time scenes of what's happening within schools.
All of those new safety changes kick into high gear starting today. We want to wish a good luck to all of the Waterbury school students that are heading back to the classroom, including teachers who are starting to make their way inside right now. We're live in Waterbury. Olivia Schuler, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, thanks, Olivia. And we